Welcome to my YouTube channel. Myself, Abhijit Uttam Jadhav from Gokhale Education Society, HL Junior College, HL Township, Nashik. In this video lecture series, we will see lesson number 8, Respiration and Circulation of Standard 12th. In this video, we will see following topics. In animals or in humans, blood circulation takes place with the help of circulatory system, that is also called as cardiovascular system or blood vascular system. It transport materials around the body. The other functions of circulatory system are they helps to transport oxygen, carbon dioxide, digested food, hormones, waste chemicals like urea and heat. Components of circulatory system. There are mainly three main components: blood, blood vessels, and heart. Types of blood vascular system. In animals, there are two types of circulatory systems: open circulatory system and closed circulatory system. Open circulatory system mostly found in invertebrates like arthropods and mollusks, whereas the closed circulatory system mostly found in vertebrates and in few invertebrates like annelids. These are the main differences between open circulatory system and closed circulatory system. Now we'll see closed circulatory system. Closed circulatory system is of two types: single circulatory system, that is single circulation, and double circulatory system, that is called as double circulation. First of all, we'll see single circulation. Single circulation is mainly present in fish. In fish, blood passes through heart only once during each cycle. The deoxygenated blood is pumped from heart towards gills, where it undergoes oxygenation. This oxygenated blood moves towards body parts, where it gets deoxygenated. This deoxygenated blood returns to heart for next cycle. The heart of fish only carries deoxygenated blood, therefore it is called as venous heart. Now we'll see double circulation. Double circulation is present in birds as well as in mammals. Human heart shows double circulation. Blood passes through heart twice during each cycle. Now, in double circulation, there is a pulmonary circulation. Pulmonary circulation consists of pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein. The pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood from heart towards lungs, where it goes oxygenation. This oxygenated blood returns to heart from lungs through pulmonary vein. During systemic circulation, the artery carries the oxygenated blood from the heart to the body parts except lungs, where it gets deoxygenated. This deoxygenated blood returns to heart for the next cycle. In double circulation, there are mainly three parts, that is lungs, heart, and body. So double circulation takes place in between lungs, heart and body. We know double circulation consists of pulmonary circulation and the systemic circulation. Now first of all we will see pulmonary circulation. We know human heart consists of these four chambers. The upper two chambers are called as atrium, whereas the lower chambers are called as ventricles. The upper two chambers, that is atrium, are mainly receiving chambers, whereas the ventricles are pumping chambers. Now during pulmonary circulation, from right ventricle, deoxygenated blood is pumped towards lungs through pulmonary artery. The lungs helps in oxygenation. After the blood becomes oxygenated, it is carried by the pulmonary vein and it comes to left atrium. From the left atrium, it comes to left ventricle. Now the circulation in front of you is nothing but pulmonary circulation. Why it is pulmonary circulation? Because pulmonary artery and pulmonary veins are involved. Now from left atrium, the oxygenated blood comes to left ventricle. Now from this onward, the systemic circulation starts. The artery carries this oxygenated blood from this left ventricle to body parts. The body parts or the body uses this oxygenated blood and it becomes now deoxygenated. This deoxygenated blood is pumped through vein. This deoxygenated blood comes to right atrium and from right atrium it comes to right ventricle. Again, the right ventricle pumps this deoxygenated blood towards lungs. So this is nothing but double circulation in humans. Circulatory system in human. The human circulatory system composed of blood vascular and lymphatic system. First of all, we will see blood vascular system. The blood vascular system comprises blood, blood vessels and heart. Blood. First of all, we'll see composition of blood. Study of blood is called hematology. In an average adult, 4 to 6 liters of blood is present. Blood is slightly alkaline, salty and viscous fluid. It has two main components, that is plasma and blood cells. So these are the two main components of blood, plasma and blood cells. These are the contents of plasma. Near about 90% of water, 77 to 8% of proteins, 1% of inorganic salts and 1 to 2% of other substances or materials. Whereas blood cells are of three types. RBCs means red blood corpuscles or erythrocytes, white blood corpuscles or leukocytes, and platelets or thrombocytes. Now first of all we'll see red blood corpuscles or erythrocytes. Erythrocytes are most abundant cell in the body. They are circular, biconcave and enucleated. Means nucleus is absent. But in camel and llama, they are nucleated. RBCs are red in color due to presence of hemoglobin. The RBC count in males is 5.1 to 5.8 millions per cubic millimeter, whereas in females it is 4.3 to 5.2 million per cubic millimeter. The average lifespan is 120 days. Process of formation of RBCs in the body is called as erythropoiesis. In fetus, erythropoiesis takes place in liver and spleen, whereas in adults it takes place in red bone marrow. The old RBCs are destroyed in liver and spleen. The increase in number of RBCs is called as polycythemia, whereas the decrease in number of RBCs is called as erythrocytopenia. The main function of RBC is to transport of respiratory gases like O2 and CO2. RBC also helps to maintain pH and viscosity of blood. RBC helps in blood clotting. The ratio of volume of RBCs to total volume of blood is called as hematocrit. Now first of all, we'll see the white blood corpuscle or leukocytes. Leukocytes are colorless, nucleated and amoeboid cells. WBCs are larger than RBCs. Due to amoeboid movement, WBCs can move out of walls of capillary. This is called as diapedesis. In a normal adult, 5,000 to 11,000 WBCs are present per cubic millimeter. Decrease in number of WBCs is common in HIV or AIDS and TB patients, which is called as leukopenia. The temporary increase in number of WBCs due to infection is called leukocytosis. The uncontrolled increase in WBCs is a type of blood cancer that is called as leukemia. The main function of WBC is protection. WBCs show polymorphism, means there are various types of WBCs. First of all, we'll see two main types of WBCs. WBCs are mainly of two types, that is granulocytes, 72% of the WBC, and agranulocytes, that is 28% of the WBCs. Granulocytes are of three types and agranulocytes are of two types. Now let us see one by one. Granulocytes. In granulocytes, granules are present in cytoplasm, means those WBCs which contain granules in their cytoplasms are called as granulocytes, also called as PMN, that is polymorphonuclear leukocytes. Granules are secretory vesicles which contain different secretions and enzymes. Depending on staining property of the granules, granulocytes are classified into three types. So these are the three types. First type is neutrophils, second is basophils, and the third is eosinophils. Now we'll see one by one. Neutrophils. Neutrophils are having fine granules in them. Look here, fine granules. They are large in numbers, stained with neutral stain or dye. 70% of the total WBCs are neutrophils. Cells are spherical, nucleus with several lobes, that is 2 to 7. Look here, these are the lobes, 2 to 7 lobes are present. Perform amoeboid movements, destroys pathogen by phagocytosis. Now we'll see the second type, that is basophils. Very few granules are present in them. Large size granules are present in basophils. stained with methylene blue, 0.5 to 1% of total WBCs. Cells are spherical, nucleus is twisted, they are present in infection and allergy. They secrete heparin, histamine and serotonin. They are non-phagocytic. Now we'll see the third type, that is eosinophils, or also called as acidophils. They contain lysosomal granules. Now why they are called as acidophils? Because they can be stained with the acidic stain like eosin. 1 to 3% of the total WBCs are eosinophils. Cells are spherical, nucleus is bilobed, their number increases in allergic condition. They have antihistamine property. They produce antitoxins, thus helps in detoxification. Now the second main type of WBC is granulocytes. Why they are called as agranulocytes? Because granules are absent in cytoplasm. Nuclei of granulocytes are larger in size. Nuclei is not lobulated. Two types of agranulocytes. First, lymphocytes, and the second one is monocytes. Now first of all we'll see lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are smallest of all WBCs. Large spherical nucleus can be seen, 25 to 30% of total WBCs. Depending on function, lymphocytes are of two types, B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. B lymphocytes matures in bone marrow and provide antibody mediated immunity, whereas the T lymphocytes matures in thymus and provide cell mediated immunity. The T lymphocytes are of four main types: helper T cells, killer T cells, memory T cells and suppressor T cells. Now the second type, that is monocytes. Monocytes are largest of all WBCs. Nucleus is large and kidney shaped. 3 to 5% of total WBCs are monocytes. Monocytes are actively motile and give rise to macrophages. They destroy bacteria and dead or damaged tissue by phagocytic action. Now we'll see the third type of cell, that is thrombocytes or platelets. Thrombocytes are formed from the large cells called megakaryocytes. These are produced in bone marrow. Cells are very small, oval in shape, without nucleus. The normal count in human is 2.5 to 4.5 lakh per cubic millimeter. If number decreases, means if the number of platelet decreases than the normal, it is called as thrombocytopenia. This condition causes internal bleeding, that is called as hemorrhage. They form platelet plugs or thrombus, which helps in blood clotting. They secretes serotonin, which is a local vasoconstrictor. Now, what do you mean by blood clotting or coagulation of blood? Conversion of liquid blood into a solid form is called as clotting or blood clotting. Blood clots when it comes in contact with any foreign substance, then it is called as intrinsic process. And when blood clots, when it comes in contact with any damaged tissue, it is called as extrinsic process. There are 12 different clotting factors involved in blood clotting. These factors helps to form enzyme thrombin. Now we'll see steps in blood clotting. These are the steps in the blood clotting. Okay. So first of all, injury occurs. After injury, the injured tissue and the platelets releases thromboplastin. The thromboplastin helps to produce prothrombinase enzyme. This prothrombinase enzyme converts inactive plasma protein, that is prothrombin, into active plasma protein thrombin with the help of calcium ions. The thrombin, that is active protein, that is active plasma protein, helps to convert soluble fibrinogen into insoluble fibrin, and then blood clotting occurs. I hope you have understood all the content of this video. Thank you.